Hello and welcome back to Awakening to Your Story TV, the place to learn, get inspired, and be supported on the journey of life. I'm your host, author, emotional heart expert, and heart enthusiast, Alicia Hartzell. Today we're talking about finding the calm in the storm. Dear Alicia, I'm a senior in college, and my life is drastically changing. There are so many unknown factors at play right now. I don't know how my life is going to look in a couple of months. There are many questions running through my head. Am I going to get into graduate school? Will I be moving, getting a new job, having to leave my relationship, and many more. I want to remain calm and present, but I can't stop thinking about the things that are out of my control. How do I calm the storm of my mind? We have all been there, juggling the chaos and the unknown and dealing with the roller coaster of life. It can be really hard to be present and calm, no matter your age or your circumstance, right? I happen to have a two-step way of finding the calm in the storm, and for me, it is tried and true. Now, first, you have to know where you are on the river of life, and then you have to create time for self-care and truth. Now let's look at both of these more closely. Knowing where you are in the river of life is your key to consciousness. Now I go into so much more detail about the river of life in the Awakening to Your Story handbook and starter kit. You can always grab access to those on the website. But for today, we're going to look and talk about the basics. Now, on the river of life, every person gets a boat. And that boat, it's your consciousness. You have everything that you need right there in your boat. Now, the ideal way to travel on the river is in harmony with the current as it flows downstream. But often, we find ourselves having trouble in the water. Maybe it's frantically paddling upstream, fighting the current of life and getting tired and stressed out. Maybe it's finding yourself in another person's boat, dependent on them to do or be something, asking them to fill the gaps in your own consciousness. Now it can go the other way too. Maybe someone else is in your boat, right? With codependency, you are trying to fix things in someone else's life that you were never meant to fix. Now, what about all those times where you feel like you're drowning on the river, right? We've been there, all of us at some point. We've lost sight of our boat and our consciousness, and we forget about the tools and the truth and all the things that we need to understand and stay afloat on the river. Now, if you know where you are in relationship to your boat and the river of life, then you can always figure out a way back to that optimal position. Again, we cover all of this in greater detail in the handbook and the starter kit with lots of exercises and videos. But I designed this principle so that you can really feel and understand it just like this, as simple as this. Remember, when you're in your boat, you have everything that you need, and you can navigate your way through even the rockiest of waters. So if you are in the same kind of position as this college student feeling that storm, then your mind is leading you into panic and uncertainty. And you can reach for your truth right there within your consciousness to redirect your thoughts. With all the questions swirling with uncertainty, your mind is taking you outside of yourself. Your focus is on all of the things that you cannot control. This makes you feel like you have no power or that those things have power over you. Now that sounds a lot like being outside of your boat. This drowning kind of feeling, right? Your thoughts run through your head in hundreds of different ways. What if? What if? And no matter how many times you think about them, the outcome is still the same. It's unknown. You can start to feel tired and anxious and stressed in this kind of position. So you have to get back into your boat. Reconnect with your consciousness. Reconnect with your truth and all that is there with you. Now, there are millions of ways to do this. For this two-step way of finding the calm in the storm, I recommend heading right for your truth. And that leads us to the second step, creating time for self-care and truth. To create time for your truth, you have to first know your truth. And the miracle is your truth happens to be right there in your boat and your consciousness. Now, a word of caution, limiting beliefs really like to bugger up your truth and keep them hidden from you. So make sure that you activate your curiosity so that your limiting beliefs can't fool you. Now, let's look back at some of the thoughts that brought us here to this position. I don't know where my life is going, and am I going to get into graduate school? Will I have to move? Will I be pursuing a new job? Will I have to even leave my relationship? Remember, when you are in your boat, you have everything that you need. Even that thought should allow a breath, right? And space to come back home to your truth. Now, let's find some truth in the chaos of this situation. Graduate school or not, you have made it this far, and that is a huge accomplishment. Celebrate that truth with some gratitude. I am accomplished, right? Moving? Well, your path has brought you here, and it's been purposeful. A new job or more school? Well, you completely are equipped for the adventure ahead, right? You have it all. And let's also acknowledge the fact that you have options. Indeed, that is something to be grateful for. Listen, you have loved and you have had successes and failures along your journey so far. And all of it, well, it's led you to this point. So I'd say that you're strong, determined, capable, and ready for whatever is ahead. Now, those are some of the truths under all of the limiting beliefs that tossed you outside of your boat. Now that you know them, you can make time for them, and these truths will keep you in your boat. Doing it with self-care, well, that's going to give you a power-packed punch to really create ownership for them and all that they hold. So, go out and take a walk, sit under a tree, maybe or by a body of water. Think about your truth in those places while you're doing it. You can take a relaxing bath or go and do something that you love and that lights you up. And while you do it, enjoy all of those feelings of being plugged back into your truth. Self-care can look so many different ways, but it always nourishes your mind, your body, and your being. Your calm is closer than you think. And you were meant to be in that place, right? In that place of calm and in flow on the river of life. Remember, you can navigate your way through anything as long as you have your boat. So find your truth, get back in your boat, and activate your best self-care and truth. And until next time, know that I am holding a space of love for you, where your truth and your consciousness, they're undeniable. For more support, information, and inspiration, join me at awakeningtoyourstory.com.